Well, he said that the 140 should just rip material off that thing. I disagree. Whoa, that was close. Uh-oh. Oh, thank God. Oh, okay. Damn, this table's a disaster. Oh, okay. Now that we've cleaned up a little bit more, nope, no mod. Nice try. There we go. I won't. Car parking, what's up? Oh yeah, I was gonna resharpen the military. Not gonna enjoy sharpening it, but it needs a new tip. So if it needs it, I might as well let it have it. Before we do that, use this in the dirt. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that off real quick. Next time, definitely using the military in the dirt. Dong Slayer, what's up? How's it going? Now that that's clean. Geek Machinist, what's up? Welcome back. I don't go up to 4,000 or 8,000. My recommendation, look into Shapton. I know they make good stuff. I've never tried any of it, but I know it's good. My next planned stone is going to be a Shapton 2000 of some sort. Yep, Shapton makes some solid stones. So the guy that I talked to at the knife shop today said to fix this, I need to sharpen far enough to where I think the tip got worked on, and then keep going past that. So if I'm going to try it on any knife, I'm going to try it on a mangled one. No, the one that was ruined on the belt. So this is a Spyderco military, and the other one is a Koenig Arius. They said I could totally fix that, but that tip was just mangled. So I've come up with a price for this, and it's significantly higher than I expected it was going to be. Of course, subscribers get first dibs, but I'm not sure that anybody wants to drop almost $2,000 on a knife that's in that condition. Well, he's right. That tip is coming along quite well. So if that's the case, I might fix the tip on the Arius too. This is an Atoma 140. So it is 140 grit. And it just rips material off. I don't recommend starting with this stone. Like beginners, you should definitely start with a lesser expensive, maybe 800 to 1,000 grit stone if you're just starting. That way, if you make any mistakes, they're negligible. That's why the SATC is such a good deal. Is you're getting a 1,000 grit, a 400 grit, and it's a decent price. Yep, glad I could help. So this is a diamond impregnated nickel plate that is sitting on an aluminum base. They are relatively inexpensive when it comes to sharpening products, and they work well. No complaints so far. Um, Probably about 4 pounds. It's not as much as you'd think. And then now I've about halved it to... Okay, wait, it was more than 4. Give me a sec. 6. About 6 pounds. And that's only because I'm reprofiling. If I wasn't reprofiling, I'd be putting a lot less pressure. And you don't want to put that much pressure on your more natural stones, your ceramics. This is just because it's a plate. If it wasn't a plate, I wouldn't be doing almost any of this. It causes gouging. Freehand gets significantly more expensive than the fixed angle stuff. And it does it quickly too. Wow. I've been missing out on a lot. I didn't realize that if I added a little bit more angle to how I'm holding things, I'd be hitting that tip perfectly. This is in Boise, Idaho. So, the United States. Pretty dang far away. Coming up towards the last little bit of this. Much better. That is looking a lot better. 5:45 p.m. It is 11:43 p.m. Oh, finally. Sucks because I forget the guy's name. So this Friday, we will be streaming with Stifler Manufacturing. Stifler Manufacturing makes Glock slides, Glock style slides in Arizona. Yep, this is an Atoma 140. Then we're swapping over to an Atoma 600. And if you're not reprofiling knives constantly like I am, then I don't recommend buying one. So I've I've been told that I should use an eraser, and I don't. I just grab a microfiber cloth and some soapy water and wipe them off. And it tends to work just fine. But I've heard that the eraser trick works. God, autofocus. Stop autofocusing. Look, I understand this is shiny. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. YouTube hates automas. It hates showing these on stream. But yeah, one of my buddies says that I should be using an eraser, and I don't because I really don't want to go buy an eraser. Now I have a shit ton of microfiber cloths, but I use one to wipe these things down. Now the soap solution that I use too tends to pull out a whole bunch of residue that's left behind after sharpening. And the solution that I use is like 20 drops of isopropyl alcohol, 8 drops of mineral oil, 1 drop of Dawn dish soap, and the rest is water. It works great for cleaning stuff off of your knives, like tape residue, as well as a lubricant for sharpening. James, what's up? How's it going? You know what I love about YouTube is when I get people that jump in and ask for a shout out, and then I just say no because I would have said hi anyway. So I start and end my live streams roughly the same time every night. So the mineral oil, you'll have to shake it before use, because the oil kind of just sits there on the top in all the bubbles. So you have to shake it before use. And I'll be honest, I kind of just threw a whole bunch of random shit in there and it worked out perfect. But I kept track of the shit that I threw in there. So it's science because I kept track of things. Right? I think that's how it works. But yeah, my live streams typically start at about 11 p.m. Mountain Time. And then they end at around 2 a.m. We get some sharpening in. We get to talk about new stuff that's coming out. Sometimes I sell stuff. I have a bunch of knives that I buy specifically to sell. So it's a good time. My favorite overall steel, because of how easily it sharpens, is 154 cm. But S30V is starting to grow on me. I have more knives in S30V than I do in 154 cm. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 Spydercos. A full-size military, tenacious, ambitious, one of the other Schuss knives. Oh wait, no, I have 8. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And I'm about to have 9. I'd pick the compression lock over the axis lock. But I just don't like Benchmade, so... And I've never had a compression lock that was done perfect. Or, I've never had an axis lock that was done perfect. I've had a compression lock that's perfect. And it's right here, and it's just so smooth. I've never had an axis lock that's that smooth. I've never played with S110V, but being that it has 11% vanadium, I'd assume it's pretty high in edge retention. And because it's an S series steel, it is stainless. So stainless with high edge retention just sounds nice. I've started moving away from the stainless steels because I don't live in a humid environment and I don't need stainless properties. So the steels like Maximate are more fun for me. And Aiden, for when you're watching this back on 4x speed, how you doing? I've been sharpening for longer than I wanted to for absolutely no reason. I was just bored. I don't need to continue sharpening this. Everything on the 140, that was necessary. Everything that I did on the 400 for the most part, didn't need much of that. And if I think I was going to recommend a steel for anybody to start with, I'd probably recommend S45VM or S30V, but you have to get it at the right price. Because S30V from Benchmade is really, really expensive, but S30V from Spyderco is actually reasonable. Sure there is. There's plenty of in-betweens between S30V and S110V. There's S35VN, there's S45VN, S60V, S90V. There's a ton of options. I don't think that you found them all yet. And Texas has some, people don't think it does because it's a big, dry looking state, but it's got some nasty humidity. But yeah, the forbidden child of the SV series steels is S60V. Nobody talks about that stuff. And I don't think very many companies use it either. Okay, so I have a rough estimate on this because let me look into it a little bit real quick. It won't take more than 5 minutes, but we can go on to this app that I have. If you go onto the App Store or the Google Play Store, it's called Knife Steel Composition. And basically, it has most steels in here, and you can look up, let's start with S30V, then we will search S45VN. So, I don't know, yeah, I guess my guess doesn't add up very well. But yeah, that's the composition of S30V. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, true. S35VN is supposed to be S30V, but tougher and more stainless. S45VN is supposed to be tougher and more stainless with higher edge retention than S35. S60V was designed for toughness specifically, but nobody talks about that one, and it's kind of a dead steel. You don't see it a whole lot. It's also known as 440V, but S60V is the newest name for it. So yeah, if you want to look, what kind of stuff do you do with your knives that you'd want a specific steel for? And I might give you a steel recommendation that'll work out for you. Because it kind of sounds like you started out with the base model super steel or base model premium steel, and then jumped straight to S110V. And that's a big difference between the two. I don't collect OTF knives, so I can't give you an answer on that. I find that they're hard to maintain. especially when they get dirty. So an EDC. So defense knives should be separate from your EDC knife, if you ask me. And if you want something absolutely nasty for self-defense, obviously I think you should go with a gun first. But if you can't go with a gun for various reasons, the Spyderco Civilian is probably the nastiest self-defense knife I've ever seen. Now for a working knife, again, depends on what you're going to do. Different jobs require different steels. I like the Para 3. It's treated me the best throughout the time that I've carried it, and I don't think that it's a knife I could ever talk shit about. The Civilian is the nastiest that I've ever seen. Yeah, I still think Para 3 is probably the best overall knife in my opinion. It's a decently thick blade, so it's got a bit of toughness behind it. A good blade shape for both poking things and general slicing, like food and opening food packages. Ooh, yep, saw that coming. You know, it's always this high grit finish that I end up poking or stabbing or cutting. Well, I've got 2 Para 3s. That should answer your question right there. This one's growing on me, though. I've been enjoying it. And now that I've actually got a tip put on it, I'm sure that I'll enjoy it even more. A tip and a mirror polish by the time I'm done. Oh. Yep, that needs reprofiled. That's my fault. Oh well. Start on the 400 again. Not a big deal. Well, it was completely missing the tip when I started, so about butterfly knives or Benchmade, because Benchmade's logo is the butterfly. The previous owner did something with it that I assume broke the tip off. It's an 11-year-old knife. I'm sure it's passed hands at least once. Butterfly knives. I find that they are more dangerous than the money that they're worth. So I'm a bit of an idiot. And I have gotten cut with regular knives, so I don't need to have a knife that flicks around. Ground Fog, what's up? Welcome back. I can already hear Aiden saying, "You should use the Cheever cut." They're cool, but I'm going to end up in the hospital again. And frankly, hospital bills are really expensive. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go drop the stone in some water, and we'll wait a little bit for it to be finished. It's got to soak for a few minutes. Moritz, what's up? I don't have a paramilitary. I've got a paramilitary 2 and a paramilitary 3. Most of my stuff I get used, so however it shows up is how I get it. And then based on how it shows up, I clean it up and either sell it or keep it. This one being one of them. You can see the chamfering has been worn. It's got soft edges all the way around. It is 11 years old, and it looks like it. The pocket clip's missing, which sucks, but, you know, what are you going to do? I'm not going to buy one. Size. The biggest difference is size. So the full-size military is like a 4-inch blade, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're holding this thing, it is massive. Comparing to the paramilitary 2 with a 3.5-inch blade, and the paramilitary 3 with a 3-inch blade. So the only difference between the 3 is size. Of course, these 2 are in different steels, but we're not talking about that. Yep. No problem. I'm looking for another Spyderco auction. When I get the chance, I will be buying it and putting more Spydercos up for sale. Clean them up, sharpen them, put them up for sale, and subscribers get first dibs. Of course, you've got to be in the stream when they go up, and subscribers hear about them first too. I just sold a Para 2, a paramilitary 2 for $155 over the weekend. And one of these baby banters for $40. I've got a lot of stuff. It is tiny. You're not wrong. I mean, perfectly average. With a mirror finished edge that won't hold an edge worth shit. Abdullah, what's up? How's it going? Any minute now, my stone will be finished soaking, and then we can continue with the sharpening. I know for a fact that's why people show up. Well, this thing's sharp enough to shave with no effort. I just have no hair left on my arms, so can't exactly show that. But every knife that I sell is at least shaving sharp. I make sure of that. Let's go ahead and take you off. Okay. I'm going to go wash this thing off again. You probably can, but it needs to be extremely flat. Okay, let's take this off the table. Swap it out with the box that it's supposed to be used with. Okay. Finally got it clean. So it's mostly water. I'll show you how to make it real quick. You go dump it out because I'm almost out of it anyway. Really easy to make. Okay. Step 1. You need isopropyl alcohol, mineral oil, and Dawn dish soap. So that's what I use from the dollar store. And enough to fill the bottom of this. Which is about 20 or 30 drops. Okay. And this is a 2-ounce bottle. Holy shit, I didn't realize I was spilling that much. Okay then, that explains why it wasn't filling up quickly. Okay, so fill the bottom of it with isopropyl alcohol. Then you get mineral oil. And do 8 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1 drop of Dawn dish soap. and then fill the rest with water. Now that gets you 2 ounces of that mix. You need to leave enough room for you to be able to shake it. And it is used for a general cleaning product. Like when you've got tape residue on your knife. Really, really helpful for that. Lubrication for sharpening, which is what I use it for on these. Ooh, let's not drop that. I don't carry a firearm. I can't afford a firearm at the moment. I own 2 22s, and both of them are accurate up to a dime at 100 yards. My next firearm purchase will be either a Ruger American in 5.56 or some sort of bolt action in 5.56. Well, people think about it this way, right? If I'm carrying a 22 and I blow through 17 rounds of 22 and I don't hit you, that's my fault. But if I hit you, you're not going to be happy about it. Because guess what? 22s hurt too. I mean, who wants to be shot by a 22? Because it's still a gun, or it's still a bullet, and it's still going to hurt. And you know what's the size of a 22? A 223. I love it and hate it at the same time. My favorite opening mechanism is the thumb hole from Spyderco. But I don't like the axis lock. Well, what do you plan on doing with your AR? If you're looking for home defense, you might go for like, God, like a 7.5. Just be warned, a 7.5 inch barrel is loud as shit. And let's be honest, with a 7.5, you're not going to hit anything at a decent range. Past 100 yards, it's going to start being a little questionable. Much better. Seven and a half next to the bed. There's no point in having it further away from you than it needs to be. Unless you have kids, then if you have kids, definitely keep it out of reach. But yeah, there's no point in having it in the closet when it could be right next to your bed, behind the bedstand, or not behind the bedstand. What's the headrest? No. You guys know what I'm talking about. The head of the bed, behind that. Just somewhere that's easily within reach. Headboard. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I just don't find there being a point in having it further away from me than I need it to be. Backboard, yeah. Y'all knew what I was talking about. Don't be picking on me too much for it. Let's be real, I pick on everybody when they get something wrong. You know, I got really close to winning. Yeah, I forgot what it was too. My bed doesn't have one, so shit just kind of falls back there and then I forget that it exists. And then I look under my bed every once in a while and I'm like, holy shit. Like, oh my god, there's 20 socks back there. How'd that happen? Dude, the worst experience I've had in my bed. I was dreaming about soccer and I hadn't quite gotten into the REM to the REM side of sleep yet. And I kicked the wall full force. And oh my god, that was painful. Oh, well, you see, I don't sleep with my pocket knives. Honestly, I might as well. You know how much I pay for these things? Like, this shit gets expensive really fast. Yeah, I didn't get the falling dreams or very often, but I got like the worst dreams. You ever get those dreams where at the very end you die and then you wake up? There's a Kershaw down. Ha. I was like, I don't have a Kershaw on the table. I didn't go far enough on the lower grit. Yeah, so my dreams back when I was a kid, I didn't get the falling dreams. Except for once. I got one where I fell down a set of stairs, and died. And I don't have the you die and then you wake up. I have the, well, you're dead now. So then I just sit there for like an hour, dead in my dream. You know, I see people show up. Those are horrible dreams. Like, don't get me wrong, the snake pit, that sucks too. But dying in your dream and not waking up, ooh, that'll cause trauma right there. Yeah, those just sound horrible. And you know what the worst part is? There's a lot more lawnmower deaths of children than you might think. Look into the annual statistic. It's worse than you think, by far. I think it's like, I don't know, wasn't it like 48? Yeah, those lawnmower casualties. I'm looking that up because I'm curious now. It's an estimated that 75 people a year are killed in riding lawnmower accidents. 1 in every 5 is associated with riding lawnmowers. Which, don't get me wrong, so those are US statistics, and I hate to put a number to a person, but 75 out of 300 million really isn't all that many. It just kind of surprises me that it happens more than twice. And those are just deaths. Those are the ones that end up in people dying. We're not even including the ones where people get maimed, people get amputated. Alright, this isn't doing what I want it to. Microscope. I'll be honest, neither have I. I've never chipped on grass. Toothy edge. Yeah, a little more toothy edge than I thought it would be. That would be that's that 400 grit vitrified stone that caused that. Okay. We're going to move over to a 1000 instead of moving up to the 800 or 18 that we've been using, because the 1800 isn't leaving the marks that I want it to. I want this thing as a polished finish. I need one more step before I get to the 1800. And yep. So Aiden, the one I was talking about earlier, who's going to probably be watching this stream tomorrow after he wakes up, is he sent that microscope and the green stone that I was working on just a minute ago. He's been really, really helpful to the channel. And I don't think, other than me, I don't think I can thank anybody else more. Oh, you got to keep in mind, a lot of those people are older people. when old people take a fall, they tend to be really, really nasty. Like they fall and hit their head on the corner of a table. They land on a chair. I'm sure that they're part of it, but I'm pretty sure most of that statistic is the elderly. Yep. Almost 700,000 is, again, hate to put it, hate to turn people into numbers, but 700,000 out of 8 billion, really not that much. I just went and sprayed my arm. I'm special. Ooh, yep. Fucked up on that one. What's the percentage of that? Like less than 0.1%? I think chat broke. Nope. Okay, just people not talking. One of the statistics that you guys will find pretty interesting is how many people die in the US every year from sharks. There's a lot of people that are scared of sharks. Go look that up. It's a lot less than you think. from accidental poisoning. Oh, it really isn't. Like, relatively speaking, it's one of the lowest statistics of deaths in the US. Alligators are a bigger problem, yes, because they're like land sharks that can crawl fast. I'll tell you what, these nightly streams have been very helpful with channel growth. If you're out there trying to build a channel, nightly streams. US shark deaths per year. There is an average of one fatal unprovoked shark attack in the US every 2 years. I think large snakes see us as prey animals too. But you'd have to be talking like the largest snakes. Unprovoked. Let's be honest, if you're fucking around with a shark and it bites you and kills you, you kind of earned that one. Just think about it for a sec. If you decided, I'm gonna fuck around with this shark because I'm stupid, and it bites you, and you lose your life from that, I'm not gonna blame the shark. It's the same thing as fucking around with a bear. Like, don't be stupid. I think lions would do that. I've never really looked into those statistics though. But the larger cats, and I know domesticated cats will do that too. Yep, we're just a snack. A large snack, but a snack. Hell yeah. We hit 100 viewers. See, the thing about polar bears that's a little different from other animals is we aren't natural in polar bears' natural habitat. Polar bears understand that they are an apex predator and that there's nothing above them. Yeah, boars wouldn't surprise me either. A cheetah, maybe. The key word there is used to be. Or the key phrase there is used to be. And I'm assuming we either killed them all or they. It's probably that we killed them all, to be honest. Who am I kidding? Yep. They see us as food naturally. I would assume that polar bears are few and far enough between that they don't see us kill them. I'm sure if polar bears knew that we could kill them as easily as we can, that they'd probably stay away. But like, how many polar bears do you think have seen another polar bear get killed by a person? I mean, then there's the other question: how many polar bears are there? Time for burr removal. Well, it kind of seems to me, I don't know where every dog came from. I've never sharpened scissors, nope. Well, I've tried it once and I wasn't very good at the time, so it didn't go well. No effort. Beautiful. Now, you guys ready to see how clean that edge is? Let's get a sticker pack. Nice reflective finish on a knife that honestly deserved a new edge. You gonna head out? We'll see you later then. You have a good one. Oh, I haven't even stropped this thing yet. I'm not even done. Ooh, this thing's gonna be so much sharper. Bad? What do you mean bad? I'd still like an explanation of what you meant by bad, Dennis. Because if all you say is bad and then you leave, I have no clue what you mean. An explanation would be very appreciated. Oof. It is called a strop. These leather pieces, S-T-R-O-P, these are made out of a belt. They're 6-inch lengths by roughly 2 inches to 1.5 to 2 inch lengths, or width, whatever. And then I spray some stuff, Lacey's stuff, really solid stuff. And this is like that last little bit. Like if your knife is already sharp before you do this, and then you do this right, it brings it to that next level. Now, I don't know if those little curly cues mean it's sharp, but I've never been able to do that with a dull knife, so. So I need to find out where I bought mine from. So mine was just a belt, and you buy the belt, you cut it into 6-inch lengths. That's what you look up. And apparently you can get them for pretty damn cheap. Huh. Well, then I didn't know that. I mean, I made mine for cheaper per piece, but interesting. Anyway, parts are starting to come in for my Spyderco build. This is the set of washers for it. Eventually we'll have all the parts that we need for a full Para 3 build. Should be a good time. I'll do it all on stream as well, because why not? And then I get to carry it. And it's probably going to be like the worst experience I've ever had. But if it's not, then it's about $100 cheaper than buying. Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I sell one of these things, I try and sell them for like $130 to $140, and the build, the whole build with all price included is like 120. So in all honesty, you could get a real one for like 10, 20, 30 bucks more than building the fake one. Just because I can. I'll sharpen another Spyderco. So this one's already sharp, but we're going to use the lapping films and get it that last little bit of sharp that it needs. It doesn't really need it, but you know, why not? Joe, how's it going? So this blue thing right here is a diamond lapping film on top of a piece of glass. And basically what it does is it brings a knife edge from looking like this, where it's kind of shiny but it's covered in scratches, to this, where it's a mirror polish and you can see it basically just does that. I am doing just fine. How about yourself? Is that Ellie or is that L? How's it going? Appreciate you stopping by. Now, just to be clear, not all steels like that finish. a lot of them don't. This is one of the ones that's fine with it, so I'm doing it. I've never sharpened on newspaper. I'll give you that one. The other ones, I could see those working. And the reason I could see those working is because seemingly most of them are either ceramic or rough glass. Is that Shreyan? You have a good one. I'll probably be streaming about the same time tomorrow. Yeah, that's what these are for. We're getting close to finished. It is 1:13 here. I don't consider it cheating. Whatever helps you maintain an angle. I don't need it, so I don't use one. I've never bought one. But I definitely wouldn't consider it cheating. I live up in Idaho. Well, it's not cold or snowy right now. A couple days ago it was 102. So, not cold, not snowy. But definitely still Idaho. Why did I put that away? So, with the eye that you... Yes. Yep. The lowest it's been in my lifetime is -15, I think. So, with the eye that you have left, how is the focusing? on things. I used to live in Idaho too, and believe it or not, I still do. I know, shocking. It's tough. The reason I ask is because I know what to look for when I'm sharpening, and I thought it might help you if I tell you what to look for. Now that sucks. So once I finish stropping this, I'll tell you what I look for when sharpening. And it's about the only thing that I used to focus on until I figured out what angle feels right. And sometimes I still do just focus on that, depending on how bad the factory angle is. Actually, we can just do it on this one. So what we're going to do is drop the camera down, lift it up at an angle, drop it down a little further. Okay. Is there a knife that I don't mind not being sharp? Oh man, I just polished that one. Okay, we'll go with this one. Okay, so when I'm sharpening, I set things flat. And underneath the edge, you can see a black shadow. Then you lift past that, and you probably won't see it right now, but there's still a shadow just barely underneath it. Then you lift past until there's no shadow. And the very moment that shadow disappears, that's the angle that you want to hold. That matches the angle that it already has. So, do I have something I can... Yes, I do have something I can sharpen. Okay. This one's... Oh, I already polished the edge on it. God damn. Yes. Perfect. You're not polished yet. So same thing with here. Can I drop this any lower to make it easier to see what I'm talking about? So there's a shadow. And now it's gone. Just barely. Shadow. Gone. So I start up towards the tip until the shadow disappears. And then I press down right there with my finger. And I drag forward. And then I hold that angle still. And I pull back and lift up on the back of the knife. I don't like Glock to begin with because their guns look like Legos. Don't get me wrong, any gun's intimidating, but fuck man, if it looks like a Lego, I'm not really that worried about it. And the other thing about Glock is they used to be known for being the cheapest knives on, or the cheapest guns on the market. and then they evolved into whatever bullshit they are now. Well, High Point right now is the cheapest guns on the market, and if they do anything similar to what Glock did, I'm going to be impressed. But yeah, Glock was known for being the cheap shit. So yeah, I don't usually go through the whole spiel of how I sharpen. Yeah, the AK-47 of pistols. I could understand that. Yeah, I don't usually go through the whole spiel of how I sharpen, but I figure if it might help out, I don't want you having to bring it to somebody to have them sharpen it. That's why. There you are. This thing is big. With a 4-inch blade. And 3.5 inches of usable blade length. Anyway, we're taking it apart. God damn it, where did I put my tools? Oh. Go drink some water. Drinking water is about the only thing I will tell you to do. I won't tell you to like, and I won't tell you to subscribe because I find both of those annoying. And I can't be a hypocrite like that. On YouTube, anyway. I can be like that in person. I'm not going to be doing that on a live stream every 10 or 15 minutes. T15 and a T6. So for anybody wondering why I'm taking it apart, a couple days ago I put some metal polish in on the washers so that it could wear itself in quicker and be smooth. And it was smooth for a bit, and then it stopped being smooth. So I'm taking it back apart to clean all that out. And then we'll try it with grease, without grease. And whichever one's smoother, I'm going to keep it as. I'm kind of hoping it's smoother without grease. Lots of residue and wear. Oh, so that stuff doesn't want to come off. I see how it is. Okay. And Q-tip. Oh yeah, that is some strong stuff that's stuck on there. Hmm. Well, looks to me like my spray stuff isn't enough. Oh, okay. No, that was enough. You let it just sit on there for a minute. Now I gotta clean this stuff off. So it's not sitting there blinding everybody. Okay, so this one is the bottom one. But before we do that, we're gonna clean that off too. Okay, and then we're gonna clean right off here. So for anybody that's been here for a while, you know I'm saving up for a Chris Reeves small Sabenza. I have changed my mind. I'm no longer going after small Sabenza, and I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm going to get until I already have it. Oh, yeah, and I need to clean out in there. there's anybody in here who's interested in what's going on, feel free to ask any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer. Awesome. This thing is over 9 inches long total. Oof. I have no clue how I'm supposed to pronounce that. I think I'm going to try and fix the tip on the Arius real quick with the 400 grit. And if I can fix the tip or get it in better shape than it was, then I'll be happy. Yeah, I never would have guessed that. Mm. Oh, that's going to clean up really quick. Oh, yeah. I gotta ask my buddy if he's 100% sure he wants to sell this thing. And Aiden, since you're probably wondering why I'm not using the chiefer cut on this, what I'm doing is literally just gouging the tip into these stones. I'm not doing that on the chiefer cut. Almost there. Okay. think once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and finish the stream up. Because don't get me wrong, I'd love to continue streaming, but one, nobody's talking, and two, I can't be staying up as late as I did last night. Okay, so we just moved from 320 grit lapping film to a 500, and we will be finishing on the 500. Where did I put the strops? Oh. First. Awesome. Yep, the blade's too thick towards the tip. Beautifully done, though. Very impressive. Gotta ask the one who wants this if he wants it sharpened or not. Alright guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. For those of you who are still watching, hopefully you have a great rest of your night, morning, day, whatever it is. And we'll see you later tonight when I'm streaming again.